Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw this time, and it's going to be on The Wild Robot. Now, The Wild Robot stars Lupita Nyong'o as this robot that gets stranded in the forest, and she gets off to a rocky start. These animals have no idea who she is, but she finds this little baby goose egg, and she has a new task: to raise it, and for it to be able to fly for migration during the wintertime. So yeah, it's a very basic mother story or parenting story, but of course it's also, this robot trying to survive the wild and exactly what her purpose is, because she's programmed to be like a regular robot, but of course later on we can see her experiencing more human-ish like emotions and not just feeling like a regular robot. And she makes friends. There's this fox called Bink, I believe, who's played by Pedro Pascal. And this is DreamWorks' new property. And when it comes to DreamWorks animated films, they make two types of ones. They make films like Puss in Boots: Last Wish, which, yeah, I am really intrigued by this. I actually want to check this out. Then they make films like The Boss Baby and Trolls, which has me like, yeah, that's probably not for me. But yeah, this falls on the line of me actually being very intrigued by the trailer, as from the first trailer, there were no voices whatsoever, so we didn't even know what the robots sounded like. All that we knew is that, Lupita Nyong'o was on the top, so it's, of course, obvious that she was going to play the role, and she is terrific in the movie. Everybody, despite the fact that people complain about, all-star casts, being in animated films, I feel like the voices for all these characters fit very well. I should also mention this film is directed by Chris Sanders, director of, in my opinion, the greatest DreamWorks film of all time, How to Train Your Dragon. Also, he directed Lilo and Stitch, and you literally cannot go to a store without seeing at least one piece of Stitch merch, so you can thank him for that. And he also directed other films later down the line, The Croods and, stuff like that. But yeah, he is a master when it comes to animation, and this film is no exception. And if I'm being honest, this is probably the best animated film DreamWorks has made since How to Train Your Dragon. And that's saying something, because I say this a lot, but I can't get over the fact that Puss in Boots: Last Wish was really good. Could have just been a cash grab because, DreamWorks needs to make that moolah, just like with Kung Fu Panda 4, which I did like, but it is nowhere near on the levels of this film. Like, I heard the buzz, and I was all like, really? Is it really that good? And yeah, it is. This film is a magnum opus of breathtaking animation and storytelling told in the perspective of a robot and animals. We do kind of see humans, but it's very brief. Like, there's never really a time, like, you will not see a human that plays out as a character, more like extras pretty much. Because even when it opens up, it gets you right to the point on what the movie is about. And the way that, they handle this character, who's named Roz, by the way, as she tries to figure out exactly who she's supposed to be and why she landed in the forest, finding out that she has this new task and seeing what all these types of animals do and trying to follow in their footsteps once in a while in order to survive the wildlife, it becomes very investing. And there are times, of course, where it starts to get very, very deep. And there are moments that are extremely touching. And with the relationship that she has with this young goose, she is attempting to be a mother to this baby goose who lost his family. It was honestly very endearing to see her try to make this goose, eat and swim and fly. And it was all very investing. And Pedro Pascal as this fox, too. I also connected with this character as well, who, just wants friends of his own because, everybody in the forest hates him. It's not really clear as to why. I guess it's because, at first, they kind of got off on the wrong foot with Roz and Bing trying to, But, I'm not going to go further because, this is a film that literally anyone can experience. It doesn't matter if you're a kid. It doesn't matter if you're a parent. It doesn't matter if you're an adult or a child. If you don't have kids, it's best if you just watch it without your kids. Kind of like this. This is perfect to watch without kids, and you don't have to feel embarrassed. In fact, parenting is also involved in this film. and there are moments that will have you tearing up. Did Chris Sanders take inspiration from this? I know this is based off a book, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because, yeah, I could definitely see it. Of course, throughout a lot of the movie, it definitely explores the storyline. While it being very, very basic, there isn't a time where we cut to another character who also has his or her own storyline, but it was all very captivating. And while I was watching the movie, I won't lie, it did feel longer than it needed to be. But I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't care if this movie was 4 hours long, because it was just so engaging trying to see this robot connect with all these animals, because I honestly felt bad at first for when the robot appeared and when, these animals see her as a threat. But seeing her grow more as to what she's programmed to be, and not just being just a regular type of robot, destined to just be, your basic assistant. It was all very captivating. And there is an intense action sequence, which was very powerful and never takes away from the storyline, and just never just feels like, here's some action here to keep viewers entertained, because it's mostly story driven, and I was very riveted by it. Just with the fantastic voice acting and the incredible animation style when the geese fly in the air. There was just so much detail put into the animation for this film that its storyline and characters, it was all very, very investing, and I found myself very intrigued throughout its runtime. And yes, I nearly did tear up more than I thought I would, because it really got me that much. Like, she's trying to take care of a goose, and I thought it was very powerful, her connection with that goose, trying to treat him like he is her own son. And I thought it was very beautiful. This is a beautiful film, very moving in terms of its storyline, and never shies away from changing things up. That way, you don't have to follow anything except for one thing throughout this film. It is a journey filled with emotion and humor that there wasn't a single time where I groaned that just made it feel like it was just made for kids. But no, the humor is actually done in a very smart way, and not always feeling like, it's just thrown in to entertain kids. For a movie being about an AI, this movie, it doesn't feel like AI had anything to do with it. I think real people generally wanted to work on this film and make it as best as they possibly can, and they did their best, and I feel like they succeeded at every single level. I don't know why it took them so long to finally make a film to compete with How to Train Your Dragon, but they did. And it's from the same guy that made that movie. So, yeah, all in all, I had myself a blast with this one. Do not let this movie bomb, okay? I know this isn't Despicable Me or anything like that, but this is a film that anyone can enjoy without feeling like they're suffering, because there is nothing to suffer from this film. It is a masterpiece, and I say this a lot when I talk about near-perfect films, but I loved every second of it. And I am not kidding when I say that. It's literally a masterpiece, and I cannot praise it enough. It's funny. This is my very first 5 out of 5 this year. And the year's almost over, so I don't know where this movie's been. But, yeah. Another animated movie about a robot to come out recently that I highly recommend is Robot Dreams. I also think that movie is a work of art. I reviewed it on my channel a few months ago. I pre-ordered the Blu-ray for that. I cannot wait to get it in the mail. Such a beautiful film. And hey, since we're on the subject of robots in media, I have another piece of media that is going to be up next involving a robot. I cannot wait to talk about this game. I had so much to say. And yes, it is amazing. So yeah, look forward to that. My video for that will probably be up tomorrow, but I cannot wait to give my thoughts on that game, because I have so much to say. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.